Hey Gameological, welcome to this month's edition of The Digest. I'm John Teti, editor of the Gameological Society, and I'm joined in this edition by Chris Plante, editor-at-large with Polygon.com.
Yeah.
Which is right now part of The Verge.
It is.
This, our snack for The Digest that we're digesting this month is, yes, show everyone, Stouffer's French bread pizza with extra cheese. Let's compare the box to the actual product. I don't know. Close. A little browner, wouldn't you say?
I don't see any sauce. It calls it a pizza.
I think there's sauce in there. Anyway, should we talk about video games?
Sure.
Why don't we talk about Fez?
That sounds great.
Okay. Fez is the adventure of a two-dimensional fellow in a three-dimensional world. It looks like a typical run-and-jump affair until a giant talking cube grants you the power to see the other side of things, and the other, and the other. If you don't like the way the scenery looks, hit a button to rotate the world beneath your feet. This trip from 2D to 3D and back again is mind-bending but rarely confusing, and the true surprises of Fez are its low-concept charms. This is a quiet game devoid of fighting or even death, and filled with pleasant little puzzles that reveal traces of a forgotten civilization.
What did you call them? Rarely puzzle?
Well, I found the game to be rarely, I thought I would be confused by this twisting from 2D to 3D, because you rotate
with
the
the
world.
actual mechanic, not the
Yeah,
puzzles.
I thought that was going to be confusing, but it's not.
Not at all. No, the mechanic itself is great. You know it within the matter of a few minutes. What you don't know is the puzzles that are kind of buried throughout the game. And when I say buried, I mean they're every which way. Some of them are kind of drawn into the background. Some of them are you digest them orally. That's not the correct way of saying that, but you hear them and kind of figure out tones.
Orally, I see.
Orally. Though you could digest something orally.
Okay, well, go ahead.
Stouffer's.
Yeah, go ahead.
You can take it while I take a bite.
So I think that this is going to be hard. It's so crunchy and flaky and delicious. I do think it's easy to underestimate how amazing this 3D turning effect is, and how it must have been really hard. It took him 5 years to make this game, right? And it is seamless and it's coherent. So I think that's an achievement. To me, the fun of the puzzles is as much an achievement, because you're right, there are puzzles everywhere. There's little alien language writings that you don't notice at first. It just looks like a mural, and then you go back and oh, this is something, these are symbols. That was fun for me. I recognize that it takes a certain type of compulsion to engage in that.
Yes, which I don't have.
Which you don't share.
I'm not a Navajo code breaker, which is what I felt like I needed to be
let me show
to really enjoy the game. Oh, this is fantastic.
This is, can you see that, Jenna?
Yep.
This is some of the stuff I'm doing, and you think this is insane.
I don't think it's insane. I think it's for people like you. A lot of these puzzles you could do in a book. They don't have anything to do with a game so much.
Well, they're Myst-like. They remind me of Myst.
Yeah, they're more kind of little brain teasers that they just require a little bit of input. Maybe it is one of those games that I will go back to at a certain point and kind of be able to look at it fresh and not have all the hype and not have my kind of preconceived idea of what the game is going to be, and also just look at these puzzles without all just craziness, the crazy amount of praise about these puzzles, which are just decoding, These are decoding puzzles that have been, when I say books, they have been in library books that I got as a kid for a long time.
Aren't you being a little unfair, though, you can't judge a game against this perceived critical consensus, right? Maybe you think that it was overrated on the whole or whatever, but what does that matter? That's not really relevant to your impression of the game, right?
Oh yeah, well, that's more of my personal surprise with just the critical reaction in general. I'm surprised that there aren't other people out there that don't like decoding and writing in books. And what's interesting is you show me that, and I think you definitely need to do that to beat the game, but you don't even hear much mention about that from people. It's like they just kind of sailed through this thing, which is also kind of bizarre that it seems like an easy experience for so many people. And it really was something that I was batting my head against, and I can't even imagine reviewing it, which I didn't do for any outlet, because I think if I was on a deadline, I would have just drove a nail through my nose. What did you like about it? Because what I did like about it was the art, and I did like the sound, and even the feel of it. is all great.
So one of the reasons that I like solving the puzzle so much is this very thing that you're talking about, which is that, you know, Ellie said in the review for Gameological that it was like having Vangelis on keyboards. And really, you know, there's a lot of that. It is sort of this 80s synth feel to it, but it's not campy. Like it's heartfelt and quite beautiful. So when I was spending a lot of time on a puzzle, and, you know, sometimes I would spend an hour and a half just puzzling something out, it was nice to have that on in the background. Is this an indie game in the sense that there's only a certain audience for it? And you know what I'm talking about when, you know, this certain subculture, which I love, but is this only for that subculture, or is this a more universal audience game? And when I say that, I think of like a game like Bastion. I feel like a very wide audience can enjoy that game. And I go back and forth on whether that's the case for Fez.
I don't see it as being universal to the degree that Bastion is. Bastion is a game that it reveals itself to you, and even if you don't know much about video games, that's kind of the perfect way to learn. Like, it's kind of revealing its mechanics, it's revealing its world, it's totally welcoming, while Fez is the opposite. It's concealing everything from you. I mean, literally, it's a 2D game in which you have to turn the thing and find other stuff, but then also, those puzzles are concealed. As a designer, I don't think he intends to have you find him unless you are looking very closely for him. He's not going to point it out.
That's one thing I like about it, though, is that there's no like huge red arrows saying, here's how to solve this puzzle, right?
Which is great for you, but the question
that's what I was going to
universal?
say. That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
And, you know, but does that make it harder for, you know, my mom to get into this game? Maybe it does.
I think that's why people who play video games might like it, because it does offer a challenge that isn't available in almost any other game. There isn't like the obvious tutorial, there aren't a bunch of red arrows. It just kind of puts you in a world and lets you figure everything out.
We'll leave it on that. That wraps it up for Fez. Tomorrow we're going to talk about Trials Evolution. Chris will be back. The pizza will be back. We've just gotten started on the pizza. We're trying to find the sauce. And hopefully you'll be back. We'll see you tomorrow. So long.